Hi, I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week. A number of devastating tornadoes made their way across Mississippi and Alabama recently. The storm claimed the lives of 13 people in Rolling Fork, Mississippi, a rural town of about 2,000 residents. As TWILA's Karl Wiggers shows us, volunteers from the Madison and Richland Parish Farm Bureaus traveled to the battered town to prepare meals for residents and first responders who are rebuilding their community.
The path of destruction from a recent EF4 tornado that ripped through Rolling Fork, Mississippi is wide and clear from the sky above. That's why volunteers have come from around the country to pick up debris, restore power, and begin rebuilding. Madison Parish Farm Bureau President Robert Warren is here to cook and deliver hamburgers in the small town.
Just total devastation. It's just amazing how destructive it is. It looks like a bomb went off or something. It's just terrible, and I just feel for these people.
Richland Parish Farm Bureau President Hunter Fife says it doesn't matter where the damage is. The Farm Bureau family always responds.
Just as a farming community and Farm Bureau, I mean, we're one big family, whether it be in Mississippi or Louisiana. We're here to support everybody.
You see really what people are about when times are hard. And again, I'm so proud of all our employees who have stepped up.
Perry McGaw is the Senior Vice President in the Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, headquartered in Jackson, Mississippi. He and volunteers from the home office have been bringing meals to Rolling Fork since the storm passed through. He's proud to see Farm Bureau still working to serve its policyholders.
Farm Bureau's open for business. They brought in a trailer. They're taking claims as we speak.
Shane Starks is the agency manager for Richland and Madison Parish Farm Bureaus. While hamburgers are not part of the promise he makes to his customers, helping here has encouraged him to continue his work back home.
Even though that we're in Louisiana and we're in Mississippi here where the devastation happened, it gives me energy to wake up the next day and provide coverage. You know, we're making a promise. We're doing a promise. Real service, real people, like you state. So Farm Bureau is one of the few companies that still sits at mom and pop kitchen tables and drink a cup of coffee and go over their policies with them, and that's special to me.
The road to recovery for this small town and all of its residents will be a very long one. If you'd like to help, you can contribute to the Mississippi Farm Bureau Foundation and Relief Fund. We have all the information you need to do that on our website at twilatv.org. And Avery, you've covered storms. We've both covered storms. I know you've covered big storms like Katrina. We've covered storms here. And this right here, when you go and see that, I've seen nothing like it. And it's just the word that comes is devastation. It's just pure devastation.
But tornadoes are unlike other storms in that there's a narrow swath. We talked about when we were driving there, you were like, well, where's the damage? Where's the damage?
Yeah, you get into Rolling Fork technically and you're like, okay, there's buildings standing, there are roofs. And then all of a sudden you just see this swath that you can see on the video behind you. It's pure destruction once you get there. And it's a lot. And there's a lot of slow moving vehicles and lots of piles and piles and piles of trash and a lot of life that's yet to be put back together, and it was wild to see. But
Louisiana Farm Bureau there to cook, but Mississippi Farm Bureau, they're writing checks, you said.
Yeah, in fact, where they were cooking, serving meals was on the foundation of the old office. It's been totally destroyed, but they have a mobile home set up right there. They're operating out of. Their secretaries and their agents and underwriters are all there, taking claims and writing checks and helping get their residents, their policyholders back on their feet, which I was just very impressed with. Not that I was there to do a story about the recovery efforts from an insurance perspective, but it does make you feel good, like seeing that people are getting made whole.
That's the Farm Bureau family. Thank you very much, Karl Wiggers. A mid-March cold snap sent temperatures in Louisiana into the 20s, and that's really uncommon for the state. Emerging corn was badly damaged by the freeze, but other crops suffered damage as well. TWILA's Breann Hendrickson takes us to Monroe, Louisiana, where frost damaged flowers that would one day become wine grapes.
Tucked up in northern Louisiana hills, Landry Vineyard has been making Louisiana wine for over 17 years. And just like any farmer, they face challenges. This year, Mother Nature decided to make it frost. Owner Jeff Landry walks us through the damage this frost had on his crop.
This is the first time we had a frost event that actually burned the vegetation, the green vegetation. When the plant buds out, the flowers are right there by the bud. So if those flowers, of course, if it's budded out, those flowers are exposed, and if you have a frost, they can be burned, and that's what happened this year.
All it takes is a few degrees and things can take a turn for the worst.
Normally we'll get a 35-degree type situation and the air doesn't stack up. We don't get that frost on the tissue and everything's fine. The hills actually are self-protecting. This year at 27 degrees, different game, right? I mean, there's no protecting the vines. There's nothing we could do.
With no way to save the buds, this means Landry Vineyard is facing a loss.
Generally, these varietals will produce 4 to 5 tons per acre. We're right at 9 acres of grapes of lost production. So, you know, you're right around 45 to 50 tons at a value of $1,500 per ton. You're in the $50 to $75,000 loss of crop revenue. So it is a significant loss. It is a hard loss in one sense, but again, the winery is in a good place in terms of the amount of wine that we still have in storage.
With production being low, they are using this time working on renewing some of the vineyard.
This could be an opportunity to take advantage of the situation. We could actually look at renewing some of our cordons, lopping off some old cordons and reestablishing a new cordon.
Do not let this scare you. Landry is making sure Landry Vineyard continues to pour a glass for everyone.
We're in a great position for the winery. We've had 2 great years coming into this situation. We have lots of wine in the winery. We'll be able to make it through for the next 2 years without, I don't think we'll have a gap in production. So those same wines, Blanc du Bois and Lenoir, our Rosé and all those wines, they'll still be available in the market. And hopefully this won't happen again, right? I mean, hopefully this is a once-in-a-lifetime type situation.
From the hills at Landry Vineyard, for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Breann Hendrickson.
You've probably found Landry Vineyard's wines at your stores. To learn more about the vineyard and how you can tour as well, head over to our website at twilatv.org. 410 agriculture workers died on the job or from an agriculture-related injury in 2019. That's according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. If someone was hurt on your farm or ranch, how would you tell first responders to get there? The landmark you take for granted could be missed by the driver of an ambulance. That's why the Point Coupee Parish Farm Bureau is working to get 911 addresses for grain bins, catch pens, and farm fields. You see this old rusty barn in a farm field? If someone were hurt there, how would you tell paramedics to get to that location? It was a similar situation Point Coupee Parish farmer Gert LaCour Hawkins faced when a farm worker needed help, and the ambulance went
back and forth up and down the road looking for an address, and they could not find the location.
It was then that Hawkins got an idea to register loading sites, farm fields, and grain bins in Point Coupee Parish with the local 911 office, so each would have its own address that could be posted on a reflective sign like this one, and first responders would know exactly where to go.
Our goal is to save a life.
It's now the goal of the Point Coupee Parish Farm Bureau to get all Farm Bureau members across the state to follow their lead.
We took it upon ourselves to get 911 addresses for all of our loading sites and labor housing to help emergency vehicles show up promptly.
Louisiana Farm Bureau Safety Director Wendell Miley says seconds count when there's an accident on the farm.
You want to get that responder, that first responder, to that scene as quickly as possible. As we know, in life or death situations, timing is everything. So if you can get them there 5 minutes, 10 minutes earlier, however long it is, you're going to improve the chances of that victim surviving that accident, whatever it may be.
Hawkins has maps hanging in her office of all the farm fields with their addresses. She says the process is easy in Point Coupee Parish. Once she filled out this form and paid $20 per address, she put little purple flags like these to mark the location on the street where she wants the address. Parish workers log the location, and within 6 months, it's populated to online maps. Miley says he's impressed by what Hawkins and the Point Coupee Parish Farm Bureau are doing.
It's a great idea. The concept is great, and if they can get it established here in Point Coupee Parish, we'd love to see it go to other parishes around the state, just because, like Gert mentioned, if we can save a life, then that's what really my job is as the safety director of Farm Bureau, and as an organization, that's what we're all about, to help our folks in rural areas hopefully save a life.
If you would like to register your farm for a 911 address, you'll need to contact your parish 911 addressing office. Fortunately, the State of Louisiana website has a list with contact information for your parish. We'll share a link with this story on social media and on our website at twilatv.org. Springtime means Louisiana Farm Bureau's Women's Leadership Committee gets together for a weekend of productivity and fellowship. This year, they went to prison. That is, they toured the Louisiana State Penitentiary at Angola, where agriculture facilities are part of the enrichment program. Women's Leadership Committee Chair Michelle Semino says more than 70 showed up for this fascinating tour.
The Women's Leadership Committee conference is this weekend, and we have about 75 individuals with us, and we're going to tour Angola and see their vegetable farm and the inside of Angola as well. We have done this in the past, maybe about 10 years ago, and it was an awesome trip for most people who were on it, so we wanted to bring it back and show how much of the fruit and vegetables that are served in the penitentiary come from the farm. We have Kiki Fontenot. She's with the LSU Ag Center. She's going to give us some instructions and lessons on fruits and vegetables and some herbs, and everyone will get to take some plants home with them. And then we have a service project with Ag in the Classroom where we'll pack some backpack kits with some ag instructions and kits inside them that we'll each take back to our parish. I think most people are just excited to see Angola. Most people, it's not something that the general population gets to do, so we're all excited to get inside, and hopefully we all get outside as well.
The tour at Angola concluded with a presentation from the PAWS program, a dog training program for veterans. PAWS stands for Prisoners Assisting Warrior Services, a nonprofit prison enterprise. The prisoners train these dogs to assist veterans with anxiety and PTSD. The dogs learn how to walk with their hero masters and also learn how to do things like wake them from nightmares. The program is completely funded through donations, and only trustees are allowed to train the dogs. For more information on the program or how to donate, we'll link you over on Facebook and on our website at twilatv.org. The Women's Leadership Committee also heard from guest speakers Kiki Fontenot from the LSU Ag Center about home gardening and Lily Adams-Wiley from the Louisiana Department of Agriculture and Forestry about farm planning. Many families now are 2, 3, even 4 generations removed from the farm. That's why it's important to introduce elementary school students to agriculture so they know their sources of food and fiber. That's why the LSU Ag Center hosts Ag Magic annually in cities across the state. At Parker Coliseum on LSU's campus in Baton Rouge, thousands of students walked through interactive stations where they were able to hold a crawfish, crawl through crab traps, pet dairy and beef cattle, and even hold baby chicks. Each station also has a lesson about how they use agriculture in everyday life. Newly appointed LSU Vice President for Agriculture, Dr. Matt Lee, says it's these hands-on experiences that help children retain what they learn when they visit Ag Magic.
So I get excited because they're so excited. The other day I had the opportunity to accompany a first grade class all the way through the entire exhibit, and it was fun and exhausting and exhilarating, and they couldn't keep their hands off of anything, and that's exactly the way we want it. It's a learning experience from start to finish.
The LSU Ag Center also hosts Ag Magic in Shreveport at the State Fair, in Central Louisiana at the Mega Shelter by LSUA, and the New Orleans area at Dockville Farms. To learn more about Ag Magic and when the LSU Ag Center will host it near you, visit our website at twilatv.org. Someone who does an amazing job teaching agriculture to elementary school students is getting national recognition for doing so. You may recall seeing Haley Broussard on TWILA last year. She's the 2nd grade teacher from Dozier Elementary in Vermilion Parish who was named Louisiana Ag in the Classroom Teacher of the Year for 2022. Well, the National Ag in the Classroom organization, the U.S. Department of Agriculture's National Institute of Food and Agriculture, and Farm Credit selected Broussard to receive a 2023 National Excellence in Teaching About Agriculture Award. Only 7 are given out each year. Broussard will receive the award at the 2023 National Ag in the Classroom Conference that will be held June 26th through the 29th in Orlando, Florida. Congratulations to Broussard for such a great accomplishment. Also, we want to congratulate 2023 Louisiana Ag in the Classroom Teacher of the Year, Hannah Hebert. She's a 6th grade teacher at Renee A. Rost Middle School in Vermilion Parish. We'll have a full feature story on Hebert on a future episode of TWILA. Still to come on TWILA, we'll get a look at crawfish prices from around the state. But first, we'll meet a Louisiana rice industry legend. Stay with us. Over the past couple of shows, we have introduced you to some of the giants in Louisiana agriculture who were recently inducted to the Louisiana Agriculture Hall of Distinction. This week, we share the story of longtime LSU Ag Center rice breeder, Dr. Steve Linscomb.
As a native of Gaydon, Louisiana, Steve Linscomb literally grew up in rice country. One of his first jobs was harvesting rice demonstration plots with Lewis Hill, who served as Extension Rice Specialist. He began working with the LSU Ag Center in 1982 following in Hill's footsteps, serving 6 years as State Rice Specialist. This job prepared him for his next step in leading the Ag Center's rice breeding program.
I couldn't have had a better situation for moving into the rice breeding position, because those 6 years as rice specialist, I got to know the industry, I got to know the problems, I got to know the people, and that really set me up, I think, to do a much better job as a rice breeder.
Linscomb had a profound effect on the state's rice industry during his nearly 30 years as rice breeder. During his tenure, 33 new varieties were released. These varieties increased yields, reduced pest problems, and strengthened the rice industry across the globe. Linscomb is quick to point out that it was far from a one-man show.
The rice breeder, say at Crowley, gets a lot of credit when a new variety comes out. But boy, there's a lot of people that contribute to that. Where I was lucky is that I had a lot of people that chose to work real hard, that perhaps didn't get the credit, that maybe more than should have came to me, and that's what made our whole program successful.
One of the most significant advancements came with the development of the Clearfield varieties. The rice industry now had a way to attack red rice, a weed that is a very close relative to commercial rice. It revolutionized how rice producers could now cultivate and grow their crops.
The whole technology has been, it was just fantastic for the rice industry. It actually not only allowed Louisiana and other states to effectively control red rice for the first time in a rice production field, but it really changed the way we grow rice in Louisiana. I mean, prior to Clearfield rice, 90+% of our rice was water seeded to culturally control red rice. Now we could drill seed, which simplified the whole production system and do an effective job of controlling red rice. So it was a challenge. A lot of people contributed to the end success, but it was great for the Louisiana and southern rice industries.
The Clearfield varieties also helped make great strides in reducing sediment loads into nearby water bodies when fields were drained. Linscomb's work in rice breeding is recognized globally, and he has visited more than 60 rice-producing countries. He has also made more than 130 trips to Puerto Rico, where a winter nursery plays a huge role in the success of the breeding program.
We conducted our winter nurseries down there, even prior to the time I took over the breeding program. We would grow most years 2 crops in Puerto Rico. Then that meant we were growing 3 crops, and when you are in rice breeding, it's a generations game and it's a numbers game, and being able to have 2 additional generations of breeding down in Puerto Rico every year was just essential to the program. Perhaps the first Provisio variety or 2, we've got these lines and testing at several.
Much of Linscomb's significant research has been conducted at the H. Rouse Cappy Rice Research Station in Crowley, a place where he mentored others and established many lifelong friendships.
You got a lot of dedicated people that work here and a lot of people that have your back, and I don't think I could have orchestrated a better career path or a better place to work.
Linscomb retired from the Ag Center in 2017 and immediately started a second career with USA Rice Federation, where he helps direct its leadership development program. His contributions to the rice industry are immeasurable, but not unrecognized, and they have led him to be inducted into the Louisiana Agriculture Hall of Distinction.
I've been fortunate to have received several recognitions and awards in my career, but this one's special. To be inducted into a group that of just very icons in the Louisiana industry is very important, but the icons in the rice industry, I mean, this is a fantastic recognition and honor.
Dr. Linscomb joins Jackie Theriault and Jared Fry as the 2023 Louisiana Agriculture Hall of Distinction inductees. There are now 33 members of this honorable group. We'd like to thank Craig Gautreaux and Randy LeBove and the entire LSU Ag Center communications team for sharing these wonderful stories. You can see the videos for others and learn more about the Louisiana Agriculture Hall of Distinction on our website at twilatv.org. We're now at the end of the Lenten season, but that does not mean the crawfish boils need to stop. If anything, have more, because crawfish are going to be plentiful for weeks to come. So where can you get them and how much will they cost? I'm so glad I asked that. If you're in the Natchitoches area, forego the meat pies and head to Natchitoches Crawfish, where you can get live crawfish for $2.49 a pound and boiled for $4.49 a pound. In St. John Parish, head to BR Seafood and Reserve, where you'll find live crawfish for $2.09 a pound and boiled for $4.09 a pound. And if you're in Cottonport, Bernard Seafood has live crawfish for $1.99 a pound and boiled for $4.99 a pound. Make sure wherever you're getting your crawfish, you do two things. First, call ahead, check the prices, because they can change or they might have some specials that you'll want to know about. Second, make sure you're getting Louisiana crawfish, which is why the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board reminds you to always ask before you eat. Still to come on TWILA, when you think of Easter, you probably think of baby animals, and we've got some cute ones to share with you in our TWILA Boost. Stay with us. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? It's officially Easter week for all who celebrate, and one of the ways you can tell is by all of the chicken and egg-inspired goodies filling the grocery store shelves. And the reason chicks and eggs are often associated with Easter is because of their symbolism to new life and the beginning of spring. While that idea dates back to pagan times far before the internet and social media, like just 40 years ago, there are still plenty of excellent chick videos around to help give you a boost. These little chicks went to the farmer. These little chicks went to the fair. And these little chicks ran all the way home to one of our littlest TWILA viewers, Nathan Newton. But don't worry, chickens are not the only ones in on the holiday festivities. This miniature cow is ready to audition for his Easter bunny party. However, this horse wants nothing to do with it. And this little lamb is just hopping into the festivities. We hope those videos help boost your mood this holiday weekend. You can watch the full videos on our website at twilatv.org. Well, that does it for this edition of TWILA. Be sure to join us next week when we'll show you how a waste product from sugar mills could become feed for cattle. It's pretty sweet. Until then, you can watch all of our stories online at twilatv.org, and be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. You can find these stories and more on our YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. That way you know when we put out something new. For all of us here at TWILA, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again right here next week.